is Christopher Seychell, this is Chris Diaz, this is Cal, and this is Jocelyn. And our topic would be evolution of fractals. We're going to start with how fractals look in the universe with Chris Diaz.
How's it going? Here, I have a paragraph for you I'm going to read. It says, fractals are the branches of stating structures, informational structures, or technological structures. A good example of these branches is the direction of energy. Energy starts as clusters of explosive particles that shoot out into space, spreading around into different directions. An example of this is a supernova. It spreads particles into smaller clusters. So I'm going to draw that. So here's a cluster. And it spreads into smaller clusters. And these clusters can collect into dust clouds. And they start to orbit around larger clusters or remainders. Start spreading around. Yeah. That's a star. This is the star, this is our planets. And then we also have computer data trees. You can upscale or downscale. So branch up. These branches can also have more than 2 pairs. They can just keep branching up. You can also branch downward. So this could also be forward and backwards. You can store information within those trees like that. Here we have fractals of bunches. So each of these represents a galaxy, and they all follow a different set, data set. So it starts down here, and then this object has the most pull or mass or cluster. So we're being drawn towards this object. Sometimes things get pulled into it. Oh no, we lost this one. And then you can start orbiting those clusters with smaller, massive clusters. So say this is 1 trillion. This is 1 billion. It could be out here, 1 million. And then there's an epicenter to that cluster from where it's spread out from. And then we have the Seattle Space Needle, because it could be somewhere over there in this universe. Here's Jocelyn in this for fractals.
Somebody want to help her out?
Oh, 2 short people. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, team. Isn't it amazing how we can use nature to go ahead and really see the mathematical logic that surrounds us, especially in this modern day culture? For example, you can say like Julia said. So Gaston Julia actually created this set, but it would have been better developed with the use of better modern technology. So at this point in time, he could utilize, say, graph paper, anything else, but he generally had to do it by hand. This was in 1918, so computers weren't developed yet. So a Julia set is a set of numbers, and to calculate the formula, you have a set of numbers inputted and outputted. So this goes into computer software programming, and during this time you used the Julia sets foundation formula to produce things to help with graphics and art. So if you see right here, the input and the output would have like a variable change and a structure to the formula that would help develop just distinct differences in numbers to show significant changes in output. This technology went through from about 1990 to 2009, where as the last software developed program for, let's say, fashion design actually had 3D generating, fractal generation inputted, and this is actually, I believe, the latest software we have. So we have art, music, fashion design, and people recognize that using all of this could promote intelligence within themselves. They felt like understanding the whole concept of fractals was beneficial to the evolution of modern culture. In this day and age, it was celebrated because it's utilized for all of these methods to this day. I'm going to pass it off to Chris for hard facts and ideas on this subject. Thank you all for your patience during this time. You're experiencing slight technical difficulties with the presentations.
Hi, sorry for the wait. So my subtopic would be kind of like radios and antennas that fractals are in. So in the beginning, around 1980, there was a guy going by the name of Nathan Cohen, and he was a radio astronomer. He had a dispute with his landlord because he didn't want ugly giant satellite dishes sticking out the side of his building. So Nathan came up with an idea of fractal satellites, or antennas. So the way that a satellite usually works is there's one broadcast over one frequency that gets bounced off of a dish and shot into space to hook up with a satellite to beam down into different radios, or up there, whoever's listening. Anyway, the way that fractal antennas work is they use they catch multiple frequencies to, let's say, there it is. This, as we're all familiar with, is there's a Sierpinski triangle. So this would catch one wave, but as we add more triangles, this would catch another wavelength. This was something unheard of back then in the 1980s, because if you wanted multiple bandwidths, you would have to have multiple dish antennas. But using the squiggly triangle and the fractal antennas, you could capture multiple bandwidths over one satellite, and they're also small. Technology, fractals and technology did not stop growing here. It also went further into the future. Can I pass it off to you to explain that?
So before I go on with my section of evolution of fractals, can I get a slide check? It's kind of too quiet, like not too quiet, but everybody's all, yeah. So while I get my slide up, my subtopic within the evolution of fractals is how it's used in the film industry. So, as everyone discussed before, fractals are everywhere, and the film industry is one of the biggest that they're used in. And these principles have transformed the dimensions of filmmaking immensely. And fractals are used to make special effects in movies. And without special effects, movies or shows would be boring and dull. Special effects first came into action in 1865, which was an Edison film, the remaking of the beheading of Mary. I think that's what it's called. So, through my research, I've discovered a very popular computer graphics designer named Julius Portheus, I think his name is. This is a picture of the sorry to bounce back and forth, but this is a picture of one example of fractals and how they're used to make special effects. And this picture shows the Star Wars Episode 3. And this is discussed in the Hidden Dimensions film that we watched. And the way they created the lava stream is by shrinking down each piece and reapplying it to the same scene until they got the results that they're happy with. That's how they were able to create the lava stream to make it to give it a realistic feature. My next slide. This is another example of how fractals are used, and this is from the Guardians of the Galaxy. And so is the next slide. As we can see that the little trees, the twigs, everything, like every detail is created with shapes that are repeated. This concludes my presentation, but the next few slides are just going to showcase a few works of Julius Portheus, which was the famous computer graphics designer. And while you guys are looking at the pictures, I'm going to do my part of the interactive, which is just one question. I have prizes here for whoever can name the Star Wars series in chronological order. If you can name half, you get a sunglass. And if you can name all of them, you get a beer sleeve. So,
Star Wars Lost.
whoever can.
Talking about the Jedi.
Yeah, I believe there's 10 different. So if you can name them in order, you get a prize.
Question. Are you talking about the order they were made or the order they are in the universe?
Released.
Released.
Yeah, the order they are.
They released her in the universe. Sorry. Which one was it?
Numerically, or the order in which they have been released to the public? Which one?
The second one.
Order they've been
So
released
you
to the
just
public.
name them in the order they
From the
were released.
1977 one? All right,
Okay, got it. Got it.
I do.
I do.
Go.
With the names, go.
All right, first one is, oh shoot. First one's New Hope. Second one is Empire Strikes Back. Third one is no. Crap. Third one is not the Last Return of the Jedi. Fourth one is Phantom Menace. Fifth one is Attack of the Clones. Third one is Revenge of the Sith. Sixth one is Revenge of the Sith. Seventh one is, the new ones. It's crap. That one is shoot. The last one is The Last Jedi. But the one before that is The Force Awakens.
And then you're missing 2.
I'm missing 2. I guess Rogue One, and then the last one was Solo.
That's all.
The beer.
So you get your sunglass
I thought I got the beer
for
sleeve.
participating. You won the beer sleeve?
Oh yeah,
Oh, you got them all.
Yeah.
All right. Any questions? Questions?
Anyone else want to try?
Wait.
Questions? Okay, I'm shutting this off.